Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Stephanie Abrams. I am a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. I am so excited for you guys to hear our special speaker tonight. So before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and pray really quickly, and then I'm going to introduce you to who we have. So let's go ahead and pray. Father, I thank you for this evening. Lord, I thank you that we were able to make it here. And Lord, I pray that you would just open our hearts and our ears for understanding tonight, Lord, that we would all get something from this and be better people for it and do better in our business, Lord, and just pray that you would bless everything that's said and done. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Well, I am really excited for you guys to meet Kristi White. I remember watching your videos, Kristi. I had just joined. I was like, okay, Liz, who do I need to watch? And so she gave me some names and I found you, and just your story was so inspiring. And from your background and where you live, and that you use the tools that you had to get to where you are. So I'm really excited for you to share tonight with our team just your background, your history before Plexus, and what it was like when you first joined, and your tips to your social media, how you've done that to get to where you're at. So I shall turn it over to you.
Sounds good. Hi, my name is Kristi White. I'm a Diamond Ambassador in a small town called Lakey, Texas. It's 425 people. My husband and I owned a cafe called Ella Pearl's Trading Post. I dressed in pioneer clothing, and we served fancy schmancy coffee, and they all had funny names, and everybody loved it. We seemed to do okay in the summertime because people would come here to float the Frio. But when it came to really making any money, we never did. He ended up towards the end there having to sell basically everything of value to keep the doors open. And one day we decided we couldn't do it any longer. So we shut the doors on December 24th of 2013. And it was the 27th that I was really, really worried about how I was going to buy groceries. And I started to look into food stamps, and my husband was really upset with me. But we didn't have anything else that we could sell. We were pretty much lost everything. We probably should have filed for bankruptcy looking back, but we did not. My daughter went into the refrigerator one night and she said, "Mom, when are you going to go grocery shopping?" And it was to the point where we were eating, macaroni and cheese and spaghetti and all that cheap stuff. And that night, when I was looking at the food stamps, I knew that my husband would be really upset about me doing that, but I really didn't see an option of what we could do. I went to bed and I prayed really hard for an opportunity to come my way. Went to sleep crying. The very next day, I woke up and Tamara Holloway messaged me about Plexus. And believe it or not, I rolled my eyes. I had done 6 other direct sales companies in the past, only to spend really more than I made. I was tired of the inventory. I had boxes against my wall in my bedroom of candles and jewelry, pots and pans. I'm giving away all the companies that I was with, but six of them total. I'd get a check for $300 and I'd be thrilled with it, but then I'd spend it all on inventory. So when she started talking to me, I said no. And she asked me a very important question that sticks with me this day. She said, "Why?" And I told her I've done 6 other direct sales companies, and I'm not doing that. And she started telling me why Plexus was different. I'm sure you all know that, the no inventory, no home parties, you can do it all online. And it was $34.95 to join. For me, I couldn't afford a welcome kit. I joined for the $34.95, and it left 17 cents in my bank account. I did not tell my husband because I knew that he would be very upset with me. After my first month, I pretty much approached people that I knew about the business because I didn't have experience about the product. But whenever I talked to somebody about the business, if they weren't interested, then I turned them into a customer. So I missed Fast Start Gold by 1 day. And my very first check that I got was enough to cover 2 carts of groceries as well as a welcome kit. So at that point, I told my husband, I think actually he looked over my shoulder because I almost fell out of the chair when we used to look online and see the amount we were getting, the actual, like the check. And he was like, what is that for? And I went, well, I joined Plexus. Of course, I got the eye roll, and he didn't believe in it until 6 months later. But anyway, I went, I guess it was my 4th month, I replaced full-time income. And by month 11, I went Emerald. 6 months later, I went Sapphire. And a year after that, I went Diamond. So I went Diamond this last April. Now, I can tell you, you guys know what, we have the income scales. I'm a new Diamond, so I'm not quite making the scale that's out there right now. But I can tell you, going from 17 cents in my bank account to what I make now is very surreal. I live in the middle of nowhere. I didn't have internet when I first started. I had to go to the library. We didn't have cell service. We just don't have it where we live. We don't have radio stations where I live. So everything was pretty much stacked against me, but I had a lot of passion. So when I talk to people about Plexus, I am passionate about the products. Of course I am, because I wouldn't be so successful if I wasn't passionate about the products. But the first thing that I want to tell you that I believe why I became so successful was, one, out of desperation comes a willingness to find new opportunities. And I truly believe that I was at that point in my life where I knew that this was coming into my life for a reason. Why not give it a try? Why not? If I'm going to do it, I'm going to go all in, all in. So my mother-in-law, believe it or not, she was the very first Mary Kay consultant in Mary Kay. She started the company with Mary Kay Ash, and she was very, very successful with it. She passed away about a year ago, but she was able to give me a lot of tips on how to grow a successful business, even though hers was all, makeup and going to people's houses. But one thing that she told me was that you need to have contagious enthusiasm. And I have found that to be so true. Whether you're posting on Facebook or you're talking to somebody in person, it's kind of like going to let's say you go to a Mercedes dealership and you walk in, and the person who's selling you the Mercedes, I mean, obviously it's a superior car. It's a great car. Everybody would love to have one. But if you went in and the salesperson started saying, well, I know it's expensive and I'll give you a deal, it would take away the credibility of the car. So contagious enthusiasm is about belief in yourself as well as a belief in the company, the opportunity, and the product. It's all intertwined. And if you have that, you will be successful. It's all about keeping it every day, though, because someone might have it one day and not have it the next. You want to be a product of the product. That is so important. I see so many people that join without welcome kits, me being one of them, but that was not on purpose. I would have joined with a welcome kit if I could have afforded it at the time. But when I see that, I really feel bad for those people, because I know that they're setting themselves up for failure if it's not for financial reasons, if it's for, well, I want to see if the business works. You cannot be successful without being a product of the product. So if you haven't already done so, we have a brand new welcome pack that's amazing and a really, really good price for everything that's in there. And you can't beat the kit that comes in there, the business building kit. That's amazing. The next thing is I call it 531. I teach my team this. It's really important, no matter where you live. I don't care if I'm originally from Philadelphia, and now I live in, tiny town in Texas. So I have lived in the city, and I've lived in the middle of nowhere. And I can tell you that this business can be built just as easy in the middle of nowhere as it can in a big city, because it can be done, I'm going to say 97 to 98% all online. And that really is how I've done it. I pretty much, if you're going to laugh at me, I'm sure you can tell that I'm in my bed right now, but I'm also in my pajamas. I have no makeup on. This is 8 o'clock. My team knows if I'm on a call at 8 o'clock, hello, I am not going to be duded up. This is my business. I work from home, so I apologize about that, but that's just who I am. So anyways, 531. I totally do this to this day. I do it every single day. 531 is you need to reach out to 5 new people every day. 5 new people. So you're probably sitting there going, well, I've exhausted my list. How do I do that, Kristi? Or, you know, I don't have that many friends on Facebook. How do I do that? Or how'd you do that living in the middle of nowhere? Well, there's a few things that you can do. The first thing is, what I did was I'm interested in different things, whether it's ranching or cats or knitting. I would go into groups on Facebook of the same kinds of interests that I have. And I would friend people. I would go into stay-at-home moms groups. I'd go to stay-at-home moms who work from home groups. And I would friend people. And I would say in the message, I'd say, I'm looking to network with like-minded people. Please send me a friend request. Now, of course, you're going to get some, you know, doofuses that you don't want, that want to be friends with you. You just don't accept it. So, you know, you can go to that person's page and check it out. And yes, okay, they're a mom. You see their kids. They live in Idaho, whatever it might be. Great person to network with. Then what I would do is I would reach out to them, and I wouldn't necessarily say, hi, I'm with Plexus. Thank you for blah, blah, blah. I would say, like, let's say Stephanie and I found each other on a working moms from home, or want to work from home, or whatever it might be. I would send a message to her. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you so much for sending me a friend request. I'm a stay-at-home mom of 3 children, live in the middle of nowhere in Texas. Tell me about you. And I wouldn't even mention Plexus until it actually, you know, is the right timing. And then, you know, Stephanie's going to write back to me that she lives in Alaska and blah, blah, blah. So we're going to start to know each other. I might not even mention Plexus, but I actually will consider that one of my 5. I've now written Stephanie down in a book. Her name is there. She's a new friend on my Facebook. And I'm going to reach out to her maybe 3 days from now. I'm going to like a few posts on her Facebook page. And then right after that, I am going to post a Plexus post that is tailored towards what Stephanie's interests are. So let's say she's a stay-at-home mom. I'm going to say I'm a stay-at-home mom of 3 kids, and I live completely off of my Plexus income. So whatever it might be, I would tailor that so maybe Stephanie will see it. But I'll continue to like some of her posts and kind of get to know her a little bit more. The one thing that I want to tell you is that when you are talking to somebody, when you're talking about follow-up or reaching out, the first 4 times that you talk to somebody, the chances of them saying, yes, I'm interested, is almost zero. Almost zero. And a lot of times people give up after that first or second time when talking to somebody. The 5th to 7th time that you reach out to somebody, your chances go up to 80%, 80% success. So I have to tell you that one thing that I personally have always done since the beginning is I talk to people about the business first. And I think that that's why I grew so fast, was because I specifically looked for people who were interested in the business. And if they weren't, I would turn them into a customer. Now, the reason I do that is I look at my situation when I first started. I look at my situation financially, and I'm not no different than a lot of other people throughout the United States. And if Tamara would have reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to get healthy? Yes, I needed to lose 20 pounds. Yes, I did have hypoglycemia. But if she asked me that in the financial state that I was in, I would have said no, because my concern was putting food on the table. So I look at it as a backdoor approach to help people get healthy. I look at it like I'm helping them. If they can't afford it, if someone says I can't afford it, I'll say, well, let me show you how. And in that, if I sign them up for the $34.95 and it's somebody like myself, what I will do is I will set up in the very first week an online opportunity meeting, like a pajama party. And in that, it's just for them. They set it up on Facebook. They make their own event for it, and then make me a host. And then I go to something called postmyparty.com. It's wonderful. It's $10 a month. It's totally worth it if you do opportunity meetings, because I put the same information in just one time, and then all I have to do is upload it to the time and date and that page. It moves all the information. It's already done. So it's very, very simple. So I'll host an event for that newbie and try to get them to silver in their first month, showing them how they can get their products paid for. Okay, so 5 is reaching out to 5 new people. Now that can be also, let's say you're out and about, you're at the grocery store, you're at the post office. Now mind you, it takes me an hour to get to the grocery store. We do have what we call the mercantile here, which is like, a one-room schoolhouse type thing. But, but we do have a Walmart. It's about an hour away. And when I am in line and let's say my cashier is huffing and puffing and complaining about her feet or hates her work or whatever it might be, has a bad attitude. I love people with bad attitudes because I make it my business to try to make them smile. So what I'll do is say, you know what? I can tell you are just not a happy camper today. I think I have something to help you be able to stay at home. Are you interested? And usually they're like, yeah, well, what is it? I'm not going to tell them then because, there's chances I'm going to screw it up. I'm going to puke plexus. I'm going to just start, blah, this is how great it is. And I always laugh because I think of that. If you guys have, what is that thing, that picture thing that the kids have now that they, take a picture of your face and you open your mouth and the rainbow comes out? I always think of that as puking plexus. But so, sorry, off the subject. I can't remember what that's called. I don't know if anybody in chat knows that they can say it. It's going to drive me nuts now. Okay. So when I'm at Walmart and let's say I'm talking to somebody, I'll say, you know what? I'm on my way to a meeting. Snapchat. Thank you. Thank you. Snapchat. If you don't have it, seriously, you need to download it just for the silly pictures they have on it. I don't Snapchat anybody, but I love the pictures. They're funny. But okay. So when I'm at Walmart and I'm talking to somebody, what I'll do is I'll say, you know what, I'm on my way to a meeting right now. This is my last business card. Do you mind if I just take a picture of it? I don't know why I forgot to bring more. Do you mind if I take a picture of it and I'll text it to you? Now I have their phone number. So the other thing that I'll do is, let's say it's a great waitress or something and, or on vacation. And I always have my sample packs with me. Always, always, always. But I want to tell you the key to sample packs. When you give someone a sample pack, you need to tell them, because it's special, you're giving it to them. I normally charge people $10 for this sample pack, but I see something in you and I really think it might be able to help. If you promise me you watch this DVD and we can set up a time right now to speak in a week, I'll give it to you for free. Then you get out your date book or your phone, whatever you have, and you set up a time to chat with them. The other thing that you can do is say, are you on Facebook? And people will say, well, yeah, I'm on Facebook. Oh, great. Okay. Well, here's my Facebook page. Find yourself. So I want to send you a friend request. Love doing that because then I know, when they accept it, I know exactly who it is. So those are kind of tricks to figure out who the heck you're talking to. Because how many times have we all gone out, talked to someone great, and then they never get a hold of us, and we're like, shoot, how would I get their information? Okay, so that's one way to get to your 5 new people every day. It's really not as hard as you think. When I first started, those little green dots on the side of Facebook, I used to reach out to people that I might not have talked to in like 2 years and say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited you're online. I've been wanting to reach out to you for a while. I recently found a way to work from home. I can't believe that I haven't reached out to you before, but I would love to partner up with you. Is there a chance that we might be able to talk? Well, the funny thing is a lot of people will say, well, what is it? I'll say it's a health and wellness company called Plexus. Have you heard of it? And then I always type in, if you roll your eyes, I did too, but I want you to listen to me. There's no home parties, no inventory, no monthly fees. It's $34.95 to join. It is, your website's included for that year. Can do it all online. Did I say that one? But that's what I always do. And you're going to put it, whatever you put into it, you will get out of it. And there's tons of training and support. This company is amazing. But being that I'm so new, I'm really looking for someone that wants to partner up with me because I plan on going to the top, but I would love to take you with me. So that's what I would say. And, if people, some people didn't write back. And the funny thing is, after I went Emerald and all of a sudden, lo and behold, there's pictures of me with this white car and people are reaching out to me and saying, what the heck is this Plexus stuff that, this is 11 months later. And I looked back at the messages and I sent them a message. I never followed up, which is my boo-boo, but I did send them a message in the beginning. So that's another way for that 5. 3 is follow up. Follow up with 3 people every day. If you do 5-3-1, you can do this in under an hour a day. Follow up with 3 people. So I'm going to talk about follow up for a minute, because this is where everybody, like a deer in headlights, they get really scared about it. So anyways, 3, how to follow up with somebody. It's actually a lot easier than you think. It's about a personal connection. It's about getting to know people, asking questions. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. It's more important to listen than it is to talk, especially when following up with people. Great follow-up questions are, how did you like the taste? You don't want to ask yes or no questions. You want to ask questions that they're going to actually type in a sentence. Now, if someone says, well, I haven't tried it yet, I'll say, great, I'll wait right here. Go get it. You're going to love it. Oh my gosh, I can't go a day without it. Another thing is, when you follow up with somebody, it can be non-plexus. You can go to their page. Let's say it's somebody that you followed up with 4 times, and the last time you didn't hear back from them. And it happens to all of us. Doesn't matter what level you're at. It happens to me. I have people I still follow up with 6 months later, because I'll even say, if I'm bugging you, just tell me. I won't reach out anymore. They don't tell me, so I continue to reach out. I'll bug them until they tell me to stop. Because honestly, I feel like I have something that can change their life, whether it's in health or in wealth. So I look at it like it's my job, and maybe I'm not doing something right. Maybe I'm not saying the right things to get them to understand. But it's about building that personal relationship. So I'll say to somebody, I saw your pictures of your vacation. That looks amazing. How did you like Mexico? Whatever it might be. And I'll ask a question that they'll want to follow up with, something about them. People like to talk about themselves. Now, I have my top 3 questions on how to get somebody to be who wants to be in the business. The first one is, let me see, if I was talking to Stephanie and we were online and maybe she was poo-pooing Plexus or saying, I'm not interested, or we were talking back and forth, and I would finally say to her, Stephanie, have you ever done any kind of direct sales or work from home business? And she would say, 95% of the time, people will say, yes, I did X, Y, Z. And then I would say, tell me what you liked about it. And Bachi, stop it. She would probably say, I love the products. That's why I decided to do it. And I'd say, what do you not like about it? What did you not like about the business you were in? What did you not like about the company you were in? Whatever they tell you is the exact reason why they haven't joined you in Plexus. So listen, they're going to say to you, well, I hated those parties. It took so much time away from my family. I still have inventory. It cost me a fortune to join. The website costs $25 a month, whatever it might be. Take a mental note and then use feel, felt, found. Sarah Marble talks about that. Feel, felt, found. You know what, Stephanie? I totally understand how you feel. I did 6 other direct sales companies in the past. Hold on, my dogs. Bachi, come here. Come here. Come here. Stop it. Sorry, guys. I also have 2 dogs. Well, actually 3. One's outside and like 6 cats. So, Bachi! So anyways, I would say, Stephanie, I totally understand how you feel. I did 6 other direct sales companies in the past. I rolled my eyes when I first heard of Plexus. I felt the same way. But this is what I found. It cost me $35 to join. I made enough to buy 2 carts of groceries and my product in my first month. There's no home parties if you don't want to. It can be done all online. There's no inventory. The website's included for an entire year. And usually that will, you're like, what do I say next? Here's what you say next. What are your health goals? Bada bing, you sealed the deal. Because honestly, if they have any inkling of being interested in the business, when you ask them what their health goals are, they're going to tell you A, B, C, D, whatever it might be. And you're able to go back with what products we have that may help them. So whether it's energy and, obviously Edge is the way to go, or it's gut health, or whatever it might be, you want to go back with, we have some great products. And to be quite honest with you, and I want you guys to think about this, if you've ever added up what the retail cost of the triplex is versus signing up as an ambassador and getting a welcome pack for $99, you are actually saving money by signing up as a wholesale ambassador that very first month. And if you like it, you're going to have a website that's included for a year to be able to share with others. Kind of like going to a restaurant that you like and you want to share with your friends. It's the same thing. Okay, so that's going off of follow-up. Make sure you're always keeping a list of people you reach out to, people you follow up with, an ongoing list. Move them from 1 month to the next. Don't cross them off. Maybe, might skip a month that you don't talk to those people, but you don't want to ever take them off your list unless, they've joined another company and they've been rude to you, whatever it might be. Okay, so one is reach out to one person in your upline or one person in your downline, or get yourself one power partner that you reach out to on a daily basis. Power partners are sidelines. They're people that have no involvement in what you make, what they're making, what they do, what you do. You can vent to each other if you want to, which I don't. There's nothing to vent about. But if you happen to want to vent, that's the person to do it to. But you get ideas off of each other. You can share your upline's ideas with each other. It's wonderful. Find someone who's very similar to you. I'm sure that any of the jewels on your team and your upline, senior rubies, can also help you find a power partner. But reach out to one person every day, and just kind of maybe get a feedback. Set hours. You have to set hours. Now, at Diamond, I have to set hours when I'm not working Plexus. My husband says I still haven't mastered that art, which is okay. But if when I first started, I did have set hours. I think I worked all the time. But you have to at least take a timer. Set it to 30 minutes. 30 minutes a day. Let your family know this is my work time, my Plexus time. I have to do my 531, and reach out, follow up, find that one person that you need to reach out to, and do that every day. Even if it's just 30 minutes, it's so important. It's kind of like, milking a cow once a week. It's not going to be successful. If you milk a cow once a week, it's not going to produce a lot of milk. You have to milk a cow every day. I guess you guys can tell I live in the country. But it's the same thing, though. Honestly, you can't milk a cow once a week. You have to do it every day. So it's just like that with your Plexus business. Consistency is honestly the key. We all have our down moments. I have ADD. I suffer from depression. I'm still on medication. I went off of it for a time thinking that Plexus, I read all these great testimonies, and I thought that it was going to help me get rid of my bipolarness. Well, it didn't. It put me in a deep depression for 3 months. Not Plexus, but being that I went off of all my medication and decided to go cold turkey and just do Plexus was not a good idea. But I also lost my mother-in-law during my climb to Diamond, who was a mentor and an inspiration to me. We lost our family ranch that was in our family since the late 1800s because we couldn't afford it after my mother-in-law passed away. Lost a friend of ours that died on our sofa. Now, these are all things that could have kept me from doing Plexus, could have shut my business down. Now, mind you, of course, I took time off. Of course, there were times that I wasn't on my computer or worried about Plexus. It just kept kind of growing. But I knew that I had to keep going. We all have setbacks, whether it's where you live, whether it's your circumstances, whether it's your finances, but you have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps every single day. Decide to get out of bed with a smile on your face. If you are having a hard time doing that, I'm going to give you the best recipe. That is to turn on a song that you love very, very loud and dance like a dork in your living room. It always, always works. So I'm telling you right now, be positive. Do something every day. Post on Facebook every day. Don't overdo it. I hate to see people that post plexus, 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 ad, boring, boring. It's boring. So what you want to do is be personal on your page about your struggles in a positive way, what you've learned from them. Don't be a Debbie Downer. No one likes that. No one's going to want to join you. But you want to go ahead and be positive on your posts. Even if it's, something negative that's happened in your life, it could be asking for prayers or whatever, that's fine. But you want to be real. You want people to say, I want what she has. I want to join her. I think that she's fun. I mean, how many people here watched that Chewbacca lady and thought, I want to be her friend? I know I did. I actually sent her a PM, but she never wrote back to me. I was very disappointed by that. But I'll get over it. Maybe someday I'll get to meet her. But see, that's the kind of person, like the McCalls, they're crazy. Chris McCall is a nutball, like racing the monster truck. Come on now. How many of you laughed? If you were somebody that wasn't in Plexus and you ran into somebody like that, you got to get your flow. You have to figure out who you are. Amy is the crazy family on the bus touring the United States, homeschooling, and everybody wants to be like her family. They want that bus. They want to travel around. They want to homeschool their kids. She has something that people are looking up to. So it takes time to develop that. But, for me, I think I'm the PJ CEO, and I work from home and tell it like it is. So that works for me. But I guess that's basically all I have to say. I went over my whole list. See, I do have a book.
No, that was awesome. I know I had remembered, or let's see, I remember seeing when you would post about, I'm telling you, I've watched and listened to so many of your things along my journey. So it's just awesome to be able to have you on here training and sharing, because it's always nice to hear from someone else. 531, I do love that. I want to ask though, when you have follow-up, you gave some great examples for that. Do you still prefer to have it follow up once every day, or your 3 every day, or do you?
Oh, they're not the same people.
Yeah. No, not the same people. But do you do that every day, or do you prefer like a follow up Friday when it's like your newbies? You just say, okay.
It depends on how many people you have to follow up with. I mean, obviously, if you are at the point where you're just starting, I think that for me now, part of my follow up for the 3 is 3 people on my team. It might be someone who just joined. It might be someone who is trying to go Ruby. So that's part of my follow-up. I do at least 3 follow-ups. And this is a guideline. It doesn't mean, if you do 4-2-1 one day, and you do 6-4-1 another day, and you do 1-1-1, then it's just a follow-up, general rule that you want to kind of follow to be able to keep yourself in check. This is a business. If you treat it like a business, you'll get paid like a business. But if you treat it like a hobby, then you get paid like a hobby.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing, when you almost fast started Gold, what did your schedule look like? How many people were you reaching out to?
Crazy. I honestly, I had no job at that time. I would go to the library during the day, and I ordered satellite internet from it was like a dish that you can get, and I didn't have to pay for it for the first month. It was horrible. I mean, literally, I couldn't do Zoom on satellite internet, but I would get on night. I could only use like a tiny bit of internet every night, and I would get on at night in bed, and I would PM people. I'd make a point of how many people can I PM about this Plexus thing. But I did work a lot. And I have to say that the reason why I did was because when I first joined, Tamara was gold. She just went senior gold after I joined. And Celeste, I think, was just diamond. And I asked, gosh, you were diamond in what, 8 months, 7 months, something like that? And I remember asking, crazy, abnormal. But and I will tell her that. I think that's abnormal. But, kudos to her. That's very cool. I love you, Celeste, if you ever watch this, but I'm just saying I do think it's abnormal. So I said, what did Celeste do to get to Diamond in whatever months, 7 months, 8 months, whatever. It might have been less than that.
I think it was 7.
7. And Tamara said that she asked Celeste a question one time, and Celeste said, I lived, breathed, drank Plexus for 6 months straight, worked my business hard. And after those 6 months, it just kind of took off, and I maintained. Celeste Gwynn. Angel, you have to know Celeste Gwynn. She is the top. It's GWYNN. She is the top earner in our company. I think she's the only double diamond at this point. We have some husband and wives that are both diamonds, but yes, she's a really neat person. Very humble for what she is earning a month, I can tell you that. But Stephanie, you're always laughing at me.
No, I know what she's making, and I'm like, yes.
Oh yeah. Like, I don't think I made that amount a month in my entire life, maybe.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, what I found out was she said for 6 months she lived and breathed and drank Plexus. Her husband was mad at her. Her kids were mad at her. She said she was not a great mom. And, when I heard that, I was like, what if I do work my business really hard I did 4 months. For 4 months, because then I started to go through my bout of depression. And I didn't work too much for 3 months. But I did work really hard. And when I say really hard, I'm talking, I had my computer open 8 hours a day. I was reaching out to people. I was figuring out ways to market. I was going on and marketing on groups on Facebook. I was looking at Pinterest. I was looking at Instagram, doing all these things, reaching out to people. And, and not every day was successful, but every single time I took a step forward, whether it was a new customer or a new ambassador, I celebrated in that success. And in that first month, signed up 11 people in my first month. And of course, I was helping. I started by saying, I want to do this business as a partnership. So what I did was we were working together with these people and I was helping them. So by the time the month ended, I had 19 people. And then I signed my husband up thinking that would work, but unfortunately, I missed the cutoff.
Oh, goodness.
That was before we weren't allowed to sign up our spouses before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody used to do that, but
I know.
honestly, I didn't start working. He works his business now with me, and he is old right now, and I work his business now. It'll be so much easier when there's 2 paychecks in the house.
Yeah.
With 2 names.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm working on now. So my husband is about halfway to gold. So I think
I didn't start that until I was like senior Ruby. Senior Ruby is when I started really working his business. And it's hard. Once you get to Diamond, there's a lot more focus on
I know
everybody else is doing.
Yeah. So, okay, well, this has been awesome. Does anybody have any questions really quickly they want to ask Kristi? Kind of like an open Q&A, ask it in the box there. And Kristi, another question, because I know it's very easy to get into this trap of management mode.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so Stacia, I will have the recording. I'll download it once we're done here. I'm back in Civilization, so I have internet that I can download it. So I will do that, and I'll post it in Aloha and Diamonds. But let's see. Would you recommend working both businesses at the same time so you rise at the same time? I would say absolutely not. But Kristi, what do you want to say?
No. I know too many Emerald couples that have been stuck at Emerald for a long time because their attention is divided. It's the worst decision you can do. You have to work on building your own business first. If your spouse is doing it on their own, that's great, but you don't want to be working 2 businesses at once. I have 2 different team pages, one for my team and then one for my husband and my team. You have to be able, it gets too confusing if you have it all together. Absolutely not. Don't work two businesses at once.
Yeah. And I heard that from Sonia Dudley. She's like, if I could give you one tip, she's like, do not work your husbands until you are solid, or don't re-enter. That's what she had said. Don't re-enter until your husband is emerald, or you're just going to work yourself. And then, but trying to do two at the same time, it's just, it's like you're trying
That's my plan. That's my plan. He's almost in gold. So
yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Let's see. Crystal says, how do you balance having a large team without eating up all your IPA time?
I have team hours that my team knows that they can get a hold of me. I have found, and this is the secret of my IPA, I have found that when someone reaches out to me, I don't answer them right away, because 9 times out of 10, they can find the answer themselves. So I wait 2 hours. You're laughing. It's true. You don't want to enable people. You don't want sheep. You don't want followers. You want to enable people to be successful on their own. So if you're doing all the work for them, then forget about it. You're going to be stuck doing all the work all the time. So what I do, I wake up in the morning and I take about an hour and a half posting on my team page, answering PMs, and just kind of focusing on my team. Then what I do is I will reach out to newbies that I've signed up in the last few months and make sure that they're okay. And then I turn off my phone for my team from, I'm going to say, from about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, well, no, maybe noon until about 6 or 7. 9 times out of 10, if you are on my team and you PM me, you're not going to hear back from me. Because unless it's an emergency, I look at all the PMs. They probably know it because it shows red. But I don't answer because that's my own IPA. It keeps me sane. Yeah. So, I watch General Hospital at 2 o'clock and Dr. Phil at 3, and I'll, post on Facebook while I'm doing that, and cook dinner, and, and then I'll get in bed, and when it's bedtime, usually I'm in bed probably by 7 o'clock, I have to be honest with you, but that's, I like to be in my nightie. So I get on and I check my PMs and I reach out. But that was probably one of the most important things that I learned was we're not brain surgeons. If someone PMs you and it's a question about compensation and they've been doing this for, 6 months, you should not be answering that question. You need to wait 2 hours and let them figure it out for themselves, and then send them the message, did you figure it out? If it's somebody who PMs me and it's an emergency, like say it's a customer emergency or they need me to call CS or whatever, they're having problems signing somebody up, I get back to them right away because, I always have my phone handy right here and I'll see it come through. So it's not that I ignore people. I ignore the questions that they need to figure out on their own, because it's all in the team page. It's all on my team page. All they have to do is search it. It's on YouTube. It's on in their back office. Yeah. But I don't like lazy.
Okay. Let's see. Oops.
I know that was horrible to say, but honestly,
I agree. Because sometimes I'll get like, what's Plexus's number? And it's kind of gotten to the point where I just ignore it because it's in my phone. I would have to Google it just like they would, so, or I'll say, just Google it, so there's some questions that just, you can find it out yourself.
Yeah.
So let's see one more question. I'm new and I have 3 people who have asked me about Plexus, but I'm not the greatest speaker when it comes to selling myself.
I would say that whoever said that you should go onto YouTube and watch some of Victor Antonio's videos about selling techniques. It's not so much that you have to sell yourself, it's that you have to believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, when you have a strong faith in yourself and the world, it shows. And I have to tell you that one of my prayers that I say every day before I start Plexus and before I talk to people is, please let the words flow through me that people need to hear. And I don't write, speeches of what I'm going to say. I don't copy and paste what I'm going to say in a PM. I trust that saying that prayer beforehand will help me let go of my fears of, we all have insecurities. We all have doubts. We worry about what people think. And I think the longer that you're doing this, the more faith you have in yourself and not worry about it so much. So it's not really about selling yourself. I would recommend, I know, go get the book called The Energy Bus. Amy, if you don't have it, you should, because you have a bus. It's called The Energy Bus. It is fantastic. Wonderful. That book will help you. Any other questions, Stephanie? You're muted.
Okay, there we go. Amy, did you want to be, let's see, unmute. There, you're unmuted.
Kristi, so I love you, and I just love everything you say. I just want to put a plug in here. Crystal Grady is my senior Ruby. She's about to hit Emerald. We love her, and you are like her idol. So Crystal,
oh my God.
She's one of our hardest workers, so I want her, like, if she has any questions to, like.
Yeah, she answered one of them.
Where is Crystal? Let me see. I'm looking on here at the Crystal. Unmute Crystal. I want to say hi.
Let's see, gallery.
Yeah, she's the best. So.
Can you unmute Crystal so I can talk to her?
Yeah, I'm trying to find her. Let's see. Raise your hand, Crystal. That way I can find you. I don't see her on here. Let's see.
She's on there. Yeah, so Crystal's like the hardest worker, trainer, all of that. Talk to Crystal, Kristi, and this can be for everybody because a lot of people have the same issue that Crystal has, a belief in their self. She's very good at like helping other people see belief in plexus, but the belief in herself is really hard for her, even though we see it in her. So talk like you would to somebody on your own team that has a really hard time with the belief in themselves, like what you would recommend.
That's a really personal thing because, I have personally, Crystal, I've had a really hard life. And I swear, Amy, if you get me crying on this, I'm going to be so upset.
Oh, we love you.
I personally have had a very hard life, and I'd say until Plexus, I did not think that highly of myself. So to hear that I'm your idol just like blows me out of the water, because we're all the same. We're all the same, and you're a beautiful, beautiful girl, and that's. And look at those teeth. I want teeth like that. My teeth are old. But Crystal, honestly, you have to do your own self-discovery on self-worth. Do you like to read?
I do.
Have you read The Energy Bus?
I have not. I'm going to.
Okay. You have Netflix?
Yes.
Have you seen The Secret?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to think, are we friends on Facebook?
I think I follow you. I don't know that I've friend requested you.
Okay. I'll think of some other stuff that I would recommend. I can't think off the top of my head, but I would start with The Energy Bus. It's wonderful. But whenever I hear someone say that they have a hard time believing in themselves, I think it comes down to more of having to forgive themselves.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that. When I first started, you were the first time I was on Sonia Dudley's call. You were the speaker, and you really touched my heart. Your story is very similar to mine, so I really relate to everything you've shared with us. So thank you.
Oh, very welcome. You're very welcome. I'll send you a private PM so we can talk further.
Thank you. Awesome.
Well, okay. I think that answered all of our questions. Thank you so much again, Kristi, for being on here. That was there was so much great information that you gave. I know people are going to be watching this over and over. People are already messaging asking how to get a hold of the recording. So thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Like I said, it's just surreal that, you know, I have a team now, and I was able to ask you on here because I followed you from the beginning. So this is just so exciting.
Oh, I'm thrilled to be here. It's an honor.
Yeah, thank you so much. Guys, if you have any other questions, whatever, you could send her message or PM me, and then we can get it taken care of. But thank you again, Kristi. I'm going to unmute everyone. And you guys